I'm the founder and CEO of Giggrabbers, which is the world's startup platform. At Giggrabbers, entrepreneurs can actually build and develop startups. And this is our team. Khadija Baptiste, she is taking her finals today. She couldn't be here. She's a project manager and co-founder. And this is Rahul Depatra. He built our platform and continues to do so. We've been working together for the last year or so. So our vision is to help founders and startups succeed no matter what, no matter where they are in the startup process. And this vision pretty much drives our innovation, it drives how the platform is built. And it's made for people like John and a lot of the folks here. John is in the process of launching a startup. He wants to build his company, and he also wants to raise funds for marketing and development. He also needs a new logo. That's the one thing that he knows that he needs to start. So John comes to our platform, and he comes to the platform to hire a graphic designer to design his logo. And when he comes, there's a nice greeting. It's nice to meet you. He tells his name and starts the process here. So John goes through this questionnaire, right? He plugs in his logo, and this is what typically happens with most outsourcing platforms, right? You go to a platform, you want a logo, and that's it. What we decided to do is to make things easier for John in terms of educating him about the things that he might need to actually build a successful startup. So as John goes through this questionnaire, he's actually introduced to several other projects that can be helpful in building his startup, such as business planning. So in this case, this questionnaire says, determining what value your product or service will provide customers is essential for any new business. Do you want to develop business model canvas? Pretty much educating you about the things that are essential, such as a business model canvas, or something that we learn in the accelerator. And if he says yes to developing one, it gets visually mapped out here. So what you're seeing here is a thing that allows John to map out several projects all at once. And this is kind of how we differ from typical outsourcing platforms right now. So ultimately, John can map out anything from website design to social media marketing, photography and video. In this case, we talk about the importance of having high quality photographs for you and your team and your company. And if he says yes to all those things, they get mapped out. After that, he reviews each job post and posts it to the platform. And we also have freelancers that are signed up on the site that start to work on those projects. So John actually can tackle a lot of different things all at once, as opposed to wasting time and coming back a couple months later to figure things out. Now, one might ask, well, hey, there's a lot of projects. Starting a startup is expensive. How can we pay for all these things? Like, it's going to cost a lot of money. So what we've done, the way we've innovated, is that we've attached a crowdfunding tool to this platform. So John can actually create a crowdfunding campaign and attach it to those projects that are mapped out. And I'm going to pretty much show you what a project page looks like here. So this is an example of John's project page. Here is that visual project planner that he. So here's an example of the project page. So this is John's project page, and like a typical crowdfunding project page, it has the project description, a picture, it has some social media stuff on there, and that's all of John's projects listed out. At the bottom, it shows you how much the entire thing is going to cost, and John can share this campaign on his on his social media sites, and his social media campaigns, social media profiles, and a friend, Chris, might see it, and Chris might actually come over to that crowdfunding campaign and to fund it. Chris might also be a photographer, and if that's the case, Chris can go to that project page and interact with the project. He can fund any one of those projects. He can fund photography, video, mobile apps, social media marketing. And if he ends up being a photographer, he can actually work on that project. So that's pretty much how outsourcing and crowdfunding looks when it's combined. Our market in the industry right now, the online outsourcing industry is a $3.6 billion market. The crowdfunding industry is a $34 billion market, and both industries are increasing meteorically. Our revenue model, John pays a 1% on the cost of the projects. Freelancers pay 7% on payments received, and John also pays 7% on our funds raised through crowdfunding. Today, we have over 225 registered clients, about 632 registered freelancers, about 123 projects posted, and $9,180 in transactions.
Okay, well, we'll have to cut you off, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so you're effectively combining crowdfunding and freelance marketplace.
Yes.
Right? And each one of those have double-sided audiences, right? So you're almost quadruple siding the audience, right?
Yeah.
So you need sort of 2 sides for crowdfunding, 2 sides for the freelance. So knowing that this is the kind of a complexity of the audience that you need to build, what do you think you need to go first, or what are you building first?
Well, our primary focus is the entrepreneur. Typically, there's a lot of organic growth when it comes to crowdfunding, right? A lot of crowdfunding is organic. I know that some platforms, they have people on there that just go and browse projects, but a lot of crowdfunding campaigns are successful because of grassroots, community building. So we're focusing on the entrepreneurs in terms of the outsourcing side. They post the projects, and if they wanted to, it's really up to them to really try to build and rally support around their startups in terms of building funding. So that's how we hope to build the crowdfunding community. Right now, the focus is the startups and the entrepreneurs.
So you're focusing on crowdfunding first, freelance later? Because there's a two.
No, we're focusing on outsourcing first and helping the entrepreneur.
Right, but
crowdfunding is supplemental to the outsourcing.
Well, yeah, you called outsourcing, I call it freelance. Okay, so outsourcing, but those are 2 different really legs you're building, outsourcing and crowdfunding. So
right.
Between those 2 legs, which leg are you building first?
It was outsourcing first.
Outsourcing first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Outsourcing first.
So you already have some projects and some customers. So what do you think are your next steps after that?
That was just to show that we're doing a lot more than our competitors, Upwork, Fiverr, Kickstarter. Next steps are to raise $5,000 in funding for marketing and website development. We're starting to see a lot of organic growth. So some people are like listing us in their blogs in terms of where to go for online outsourcing. We just showed up on a blog on Google the other day that I have no idea how. We want to build strategic partnerships with accelerators. I just talked to a gentleman's factory that does a lot of stuff around entrepreneurship, so we're building partnerships with them. I was talking to one of the guys at the accelerator about building a partnership with them, and also building our team and growing our clientele.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Kaju is next.